In a world where distractions are a dime a dozen, I will honestly applaud you if you can tell yourself you truly know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, I'm honestly not surprised. Statistically, only 1 out of 10 people in the world know who they truly are. When someone really knows who they are, it really shows in the way they carry themselves, the way they walk, the way they talk, and the way they act. People who reach true confidence know who they are. And if you want to learn how to discover finding out who you truly are, the only true way to doing that is by discovering your core values. When I inputted this 4-step formula to my life completely changed. I grew up in a city in California known as Fresno. I was born and raised here, and I was surrounded by many people that ultimately had shaped my environment, shaped my life, shaped my identity. And when I was growing up in Fresno, I did not know who I was. I was very lost as a person, and I was very, very unhappy. I would constantly do bad things and seek dopamine chases and ultimately do these things that was hurting the value of my life. When I was 19, I had the opportunity to move to San Diego County, and at 21 years old, I bought my own house out here. And when I created my own environment and I created a fresh, brand new slate, my life completely changed simply because I got to know myself and I got to identify my core values. When you identify your core values, your life will change dramatically because you will learn what is important to you, not important to other people. When you are living your life around other people and you are living your life based on other people's opinions, your life is not going to be the greatest, and you are never going to live to your fullest potential by doing that. Many of you are lost, and many of you don't know who you are because the world and society has created a fake identity around you. Many people who don't know themselves live a very dull and unfulfilling life due to them living a life that's not stemmed from their truest desires. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how exactly you can find yourself using a 4-step technique that I've simplified, and this technique is one that monks use themselves. So last week, I decided to pick up a book that's called Live Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. And ultimately, this book is what inspired me to talk about this idea. I honestly highly recommend that you guys read this book. It's a really good book. It's taught me a lot, and I haven't even finished it completely. I think I'm on like the 3rd chapter. But either or, if you want to learn about how to be more mindful and how to meditate and stuff like that, this book will definitely be for you. It will teach you to live a more purposeful life, and I think everybody should learn how to do that. So let's start off with the question, why are core values even important? Your core values are the principles that guide your decisions in life. They help you prioritize what's important and also help you make choices that align with your beliefs and your goals. And when you as a person are able to live within your core values and your actions are tied in with your core values, you will live a more fulfilling life. Some of you don't even realize that you are living your life based on other people's values. You are living your life to try to impress certain people and creating a life that is determined off of the opinions of certain individuals. And when you live a life like that, you manifest a life that you will ultimately not be very pleased with. It's actually very simple, guys. So find your core values, live your life and take action around those core values, and then you will produce a life in which you are actually happy and fulfilled in. So let's break this down just a little bit more. Here is a step-by-step process on how you can identify your core values to live a happier life. So the first thing you need to do is brainstorm your core values. The best way you can do this is by getting a sheet of paper or using your phone and just writing out a list of everything that matters to you and everything that's important to you. It'll make it very easy for you to understand what is important to you and what's maybe not so important to you. And now the key with this is you want to write down anything that really comes to mind. Typically the first things that come to mind should be written down on that piece of paper. As long as they are value oriented, you need to take documentation of that and put it in front of you so you can see what your values are. Some examples of values you can write down are honesty, integrity, compassion, growth, family, community, etc., etc. My top 3 values are wealth, family, and God. Not in any particular order, but those are the 3 things that are most important to me. Don't worry if you feel like you're doing this wrong. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. As long as you get out every single value that comes to mind, you're going to be fine. And the next thing you want to do once you have your list of values is start to filter them out and pick 3 that matter to you the most. This is pretty easy when you ask yourself the question, which one of these can I not live without? Which one of these values is just a non-negotiable, I have to have this in my life. Pick 3 of them. And the reason why you want to filter out your values is because you want to figure out exactly what gets you to thrive. You want to find out exactly what you put the most importance on so you can start living a life around those things. Some of you might have up to 20 of these values that you guys have written out on a sheet of paper, and when you start trying to live a life around 20 values, it can start to get very confusing. Once you have your 3 values, the next step would be to actually define those values. It is very, very important to define exactly and specifically what these values mean to you in your life. Take every single one of those 3 values and write a short sentence that ultimately describes what that value does to you in your life and what it means to you. For example, if your core value is growth, you might write something like challenging myself to learn and develop new skills and knowledge. This is going to help you identify the value and put a definition behind it. When you have a definition behind your value, you'll have a better chance of living a life around that, because in the sentence that you write, it's very easy to know exactly how to take action to live around that value. And now finally, step 4, last step. Live your life values. Those top 3 that you wrote out, live your life around them. And this might take you a while to learn. And a very powerful thing you can ask yourself is, in this current present day, are you living a life around those values? If you say yes to all 3 of them, you're probably living a pretty decent life. Maybe you haven't manifested everything you want, but at least you know you're living a life around your core values and you are living a fulfilling life. If the answer is no, it's time to do some work. When you're living your life around things that are not entailed around your values, you're not gonna live a purposeful life. And like I said earlier, you could be living a life that stemmed from trying to please other people or make other people happy. And that is never a way to live. You never ever wanna live a life like that. Many people are afraid to live on their own terms, so it's very important, if you wanna live a purposeful life, that you have to identify what matters most to you. And this is not being selfish. This is learning to be in tune with yourself so you can ultimately become a better version of yourself for other people. This is a very basic life skill that many people never ever learn. You'd be surprised at exactly how many people never learn to do this simply because they are not aware enough. They're not self-aware. Remember to identify your values, list your top 3, never live a life that is not tailored to your values. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.